XPaths. XPaths means what? Basically, XPaths is an kind of to identifying the web element on the web page is one of the ways to identify the web elements in the web pages. Okay, so you know that you understand that the HTML DOM contains the couple of things, right? The nodes and then attributes will be there. But if I want to call Revant, how can I call? If I call to you, how do I call? Because of with your name, right? Revant is the name, right? So that's the reason I can directly call with you. Or else, if multiple Ravens are there, what you are going to use? You are going to use for like an initial name. You are trying to use with the initial name, right? So you may,
Yeah.
so that like you will get identified with the some unique name. So
Mm-hmm.
in the web page, say example, if you go with any website, like if you want to do an automation for the any application, say let us say about a Walmart application. You want to go to automate for an Walmart application, say example. So in this Walmart page, whenever the application is got launched, I want to click on the sign in button. Okay, sign in is what? It is an web element, right? So
Yeah.
to identify this element, you know that as an human, you have an intelligence where you can identify this sign in button, right? But Selenium driver don't know, right? What is the Selenium sign in button? where I where I need to perform a click operation, right? That is the reason you need to identify this web element of sign in link with a couple of with the helping of name or else ID, right? So you can identify this web element with the help of what? With the name and ID.
ID.
If name and ID is not there, so what will be the option? In
Class.
Selenium, yeah, correct. So in Selenium, so we have a multiple options. Either you can choose with ID, either you can choose with class name, either you can choose with ID name. So you can identify the element. Sometimes what is the problem is, like if I say previously we have a multiple names of Ravan, same way we have a multiple classes for a web element. At the time Selenium will get the driver will get confused which element I need to perform an action. Okay. Basically, automation is what is automation? You need to perform whatever you are doing a manual action, which can be performed by the Selenium driver, is an automation, right? So in the web page, whatever you are going to do in a manual action, you are going to do with replace with the help of Selenium web driver. You can do it. So now we are going to tell that Selenium WebDriver, hey, you can go to directly this web page in this location, and this location, this web element has this is the properties. You can try to perform a click operation. So for that, like we can use IDs, class names, name, and then different attributes we can use it. So in that, there is a one of the way where you can use it as XPath also. So you can use the XPaths also. Using XPath also, we can identify the elements. So basically, when you are going to use XPaths, now you know that like with the help of couple of web elements, you can try to identify the web element, right? But
Mm.
when you are going to use the XPath,
If there is no class ID.
hmm, correct, very good. Very good, Ravan. So
Yeah.
if ID, name, and class is not supported to identify the element, then you can go with the XPaths. So when you try to XPath, how to write the XPaths? That is also we need to be make sure that. So when you go to the interview, the many of the people will ask about how many types of XPaths we have. Basically we have a two types of XPaths. One is an absolute XPath, another one is the relative XPaths. Then what is the absolute XPath and what is relative XPath? Absolute XPath means when a node is travel from the root, we call it as absolute XPath. Means, for example, this is a DOM content where you write an XPath, it will be travel from the top to root element to and end of the element. Say example, if you want to click this account link, this sign in link, so you need to write a complete XPath like this. So then we call it as absolute XPath. So there is a many ways where we can copy the XPaths and then all of them. I will let you know going forward, but I'm just going to give you a short example. So did you observe that there is an yellow link is highlighted means it got identified by with this of XPath. Okay. Do you think that can we write an XPath like this?
It's difficult to write that.
Right, right. And it
Yeah.
is not a best practice and it is not at all a standards which you need to follow as an experienced guy. You should not follow these kind of things because it is not a right way where you need to identify the elements. Because why it is not the right way? Always we need to write in a relative XPath where you need to write in a generic way. Okay. So generic way you need to write an XPath, not into the absolute way. Okay, in a generic way means what is you are able to see that there is a uh, uh, writing from the root element, we call it as an absolute. But what is the relative XPath and then what is how the generic way we need to write, we can see for the next couple of slides. So basically before going to write an XPath, you need to understand the DOM structure. DOM structure. If you understand the DOM structure, it will be easy to write a generic way of XPaths. Okay. So say example, um, this DOM is always maintained in an XML format. Okay. So basically extensible style sheet language. So this, like, the XPath is a core component of defined by the XSLT standard. XSLT standard means basically the whatever you are searching for a particular web element, or else, and if you think about an attributes which are match, which are basically the pattern is designed in a XML standard format. So have you ever worked with XMLs?
Not exactly.
Okay.
I
So
not work.
okay, no problem. So basically, we have a different types, different types of setup data will be there. The data is organized in an XML format. So basically, that XML format only. So the DOM structure will be created. Basically, what is XML? It follows the parent and tree structure. Remember this word, parent and child kind of tree structure will be, it follows. Okay, so I will show you one example where you can understand the things. So now let us understand in a technical term of XPath terminology. What is the terminology? For example, I told you that XML documents are treated as a basically in a nodes. Say example, in this XML format, there is a bookstore and book and title. What are those? Those are all the nodes. In this nodes, what is bookstore? If it is starting from the bookstore, what is bookstore? Bookstore is a root element. We call it as a root element. The same way, book, title, and author. Book is what? Child of the root element. What so bookstore is a parent, then book is the child. Okay. So if you think about the last node, we call it as an elements. Okay. And example, lang equal to en is there. We call it as attributes of the node. Okay. So first you need to understand this terminology. What is root element? What is element? What is attribute in an XML format? So bookstore, in this example, a bookstore is a root element, um, author is a element, and example lang is an attribute. You got it right? Any
Yeah, yeah.
confusion here?
No, 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 Bala.
Yeah, good. Okay. So in this, like XPath terminology, we have an atomic values. Means, for example, if you defined a between of the nodes, between of the tag, whatever the text we provided, which we call it as atomic values. Say example, the book name, author name, and year of manufacturing. So we call it as an atomic values. Okay. And as well as attribute value also, we define it as a atomic. We considering as a atomic values. Okay. Now you need to understand, whenever you write a XPath, you need to understand the first step of, remember, the first step of, when you start writing an XPath, the first step you need to understand the relationships of the node. Okay. So if you understand the relationships of the node, then it will be easy for you to write the XPaths. First of all, I told you that this XML pattern is defined in the parent and child structure, right? So
Mm.
in the same example, what is parent? Say example, there is an above which you mentioned about, like, book title, author is there. What is the parent element? Book is the parent element. And what are the child elements under the book? Whatever, like whoever the elements are defined, we simply call it as a children's of that parent element. So title is a child of the book. Okay. Author is a child of book. Year is a child of book.
Mm.
Price is a child of book, right?
Yeah,
You clear, right? So
yeah, yeah.
whatever a tag which is upper, we simply treat it as a parent. Okay. Blindly you can remember this part. Okay. Now let us see for the another relationships. So now you understand about a parent and child, right? So what is siblings? Sibling means what? Siblings means under,
Siblings means
yeah, under the one tag, whatever the tags which are maintained in a same line, we call it as siblings. Say example, book is a parent, title, author, year, price, all four tags defined under only one tag, right? So now siblings means title and author is the siblings, author and year is the siblings, year and price is the siblings. So these four tags which are under only one tag, right? We call it as siblings. Okay.
yeah,
You are clear, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So now you need to understand the another relationship of the node is ancestors and descendants. What is ancestors? The tag which is parent of parents, we call it as ancestors, right? The parent of parents, parent, we call it as ancestors. So example, title's ancestor is bookstore, because title parent is book, book parent is bookstore, right?
Mm. Yeah.
So What is descendant? A children of children's children, we call it as descendants. A parent of parents parent is the ancestors.
Ancestor.
Okay, so descendants will be going down and ancestors will be going up. Simply you can understand. And these are the some of the important concepts when you write a complex XPaths. Okay, now let us write a syntax. So if you see a path expressions, like I told, we discussed in the initial slide, um, there are how many types of XPaths we have?
Two times.
Two types. One is absolute XPath, another one is relative XPaths. Okay, so you can write with an absolute XPath and then relative XPath. What will be the difference of both? Why can't we use the absolute XPath? Why we should suggest the relative XPath? Say example, if you write an absolute XPath, how it will be identify the element? It will be identify the element a step by step procedure, right? So if you see in the image, it will identify. So it is taking longer time to identify the element because it will travel each of the elements. But when you write an absolute XPath, sorry, relative XPath, it directly jump into the specific node in the web elements. Okay, in the DOM content, it will directly jump into that location. Okay, so when you write, there is a syntaxes also where you can write all the nodes. For example, if you want to start from the root node, you need to write one forward slash. Okay, if you want to write a absolute XPath, you need to write it root from the one forward slash. But when you write in a relative XPath, you can write a two forward slashes and give the node name. It will directly jump into the web elements. Let us see for this example. Say I want to write a sign in, right? So if I write like this, it will be take longer time. But if I write two forward slashes and two forward slashes and I inspect this element, and this is the tag name is what? This the tag name is div, right?
Yeah.
And what is the class name? This is the class name. So if I write, this is the following syntax where you need to write it. At the rate, you need to provide a attribute whenever you define any attribute. Before that, you need to give a at the rate and give the value. See, now it is identified. How many of them are identified? It will tell you in the bottom the value. One of one of
One.
one. So means it is identified. Wherever it highlighted, you can mouse over into that location. Then you can identify that that exact element is identified or not. This is the way of writing an XPath. Okay, if you tell that is this a concrete way, no, we can write an n number of ways where you can identify this sign. The same way in going forward, there is an another slides where you can write in a different kinds of methods you can use to identify the web elements. That is also we are going to see. Okay, now so far you are clear or you have any questions, Ravant?
Yeah, I'm clear, but if there is two things with same class.
Two things with same class means, like example, if a class name has the same, and then how do you identify, right? That's what you are
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, those kind of things will be, you can see for the next slides I will explain you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so this is one thing. For the absolute. Okay, now let us see. In this example, if you see an example of bookstore will identify the all nodes, right? So this is like a sample example where you can identify simply for the bookstore and then book. So for example, if you need to traveling from the top to bottom and bottom to top, what will be the biggest advantage? A good point where I forgot to tell you. What is the you can identify a web element with id, name, and css, right? But uh, there is an XPath is also there. It has a unique feature where you can travel from top to bottom and then bottom to top. That is the biggest advantage for the XPath. But when you use a css, you can travel from top to bottom itself only. You can't travel from bottom to top. Okay, what is
Mm.
top to bottom, bottom to top means, you I hope you understand, right? So example, this is the example, this is the nav is a tag where you can travel from nav to div is top to bottom. This is possible with css, uh, through css. But with XPath, what is the advantage? If anyone is asking what is the advantage of XPath, is you can travel from this location to and then upper location also. That is the biggest advantage of the uh, XPaths. Okay,
Okay.
so uh, in this example, to identify the different kinds of things, right? How you need to so you need just see that at the rate lag means whenever you want to identify any attributes related stuff, you need to make sure to add it as at the rate. I told you, select all attributes that the name tag. If any attributes has the lag, it can identify all the tags. Okay, now let us see for the predicates. So, example, there are couple of predefined XPaths are there. So, using those XPaths also, XPath methods also, we can write an XPath. Say example using indexes. Index means if you, whatever you are declare in a square bracket of one, which is we call it as indexes. But do you think that is this a suggested way? This is a one of the ways, but it never suggested. Don't write any index way. It will give you a very bad impression whenever you are working on a project or else any interview. Don't write any index related, but you can use a predefined methods like last is a one of the method where uh, whatever the book is there under this bookstore, directly it will identify last book. If a tags can contain the multiple book names, same book tag will be there. If you want to go to the last book tag, okay, then it can directly go to that location. Got it?
Yeah.
Say example to better understanding, this is a bookstore is a parent one, this is the book, and this is also a book. This contains the more attributes, and this contains a less elements are there. But I want to move under this bookstore to not this location. If I give a book, it will go to by default this location. But I want to go to this location where it contains only two books. So if you use the method of last, then it can directly go to the last uh, tag of book. Got it?
Mm.
The
Yeah.
same way, you can use it as a minus one, means before of the last one.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
these are all the predefined few methods are there in an XPath. So using that, you can try to identify the elements. Okay. Now let us see. There are the access will be there. what is access? Access means previously in a slide where we understand about you are moving from the current location to parents of parents, right? You can use the ancestors, right? So how you can use the how you can travel from current node to directly the parents of parents? You can use this ancestor XPath method. Okay, using these methods you can travel from the current location to previous locations. Okay, say example. Now these are all the methods. Let us see one or two methods how it can be implemented. You need to be practiced for the tomorrow for all these access. Okay, you need to practice all this. I will show you couple of access how can you utilize that. Say example, under this tag. Okay, M12 now wrap is there. Under this, how many tags are there? Two tags are there. Okay, if you think about, this is a parent tag and these two are the child of that parent, right?
Yeah.
So now if you say, when I write, because it has a unique class name, let us write, I will show you in the example. Okay, say I have written like this. Now this is, if you think about a parent tag, now you identify the parent one. If I just forward slash and then if I write div, how many are there? Two are there.
True.
But we want to move for the second element, because both of them have a div tags only, right?
Yeah.
So at the time you can use the index, but this is not suggested. So you can move to the, for show purpose I am just giving.
Hmm.
uh, there is a method where I told you last, right? You can use the last is there, right? Using last you can identify that method. Okay, say example div last. See, simply move to the last. For example, now it is 2. If it is 7 or 10 also, it can directly move for the last one.
Hmm.
If you want to move before of that, -1. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let us go for the parent and child relationships. Let us see for an example of parent and child. Say example, you are you are at this location. To identify this location, how do you write? You need to
Double slash.
mm, do forward slashes div
Div.
at the rate class
Class.
equal to give the class name.
Class name. Yeah.
Now you want to travel to the parent. How do you travel to the parent? Now you are at this location, but I
Hmm.
want to move for the topper level, topper one. So there is a method where forward slash and predefined method parent of to scope resolution operator and then write the tag name. So now it is moving to the top element.
Top. Okay.
Got it? This is
Yeah.
what you need to travel. This is one of the ways you can travel. Okay. Now there is a now let us see for the axis for following. So let us write one example of record or something. Okay, there is a now wrap is a one class due in the rate class equal to now wrap is there, right? So now I want to write it. div. Say example, I want to move for the sibling because there are two div tags are there, right? Record and my items are the siblings. As per expert terminology, we understand that under a root node, whatever the tags, because the root node is div tag. This is the root node and this is the end of the root node. Under these, how many tags are there? Two tags are there,
Two
right?
tags.
So these two tags we call it as siblings of this tag. If I want to move for another tag, there is a predefined XPath method where you can use it as following sibling. Following sibling is the one of the options. See here, following sibling. Following sibling is the one of the option where you can following sibling scope resolution div. See, you are moving to the second one. Got it?
Yeah.
So you need to be you understand the theoretically, but you need to be more right practices. Once you write, then you will understand. Otherwise, for now it will be very good, but whenever you are identifying the elements, it will be very tough, challenging for you. Okay, but what my suggestion is, you need to write like 50 to 100 XPath elements to identify the different ways of techniques using XPath. That is the best options and practices for you to writing in elements. Okay. So example, take this Walmart web page itself only as an exercise. You need to write all the links. Say example, I want to click a department, I want to click a services, holding savings. Write all the techniques you are going to use, at least some 40 to 50 web elements. If you can write it in an XPath, only using XPath only. If it has ID name also, doesn't matter, leave it. But right now you are learning the XPaths, focus on the XPaths itself only. Write that different kinds of XPaths and then practice it and then show me for tomorrow's class.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I will share this PPT with you. I just show the only couple of things only, following sibling, following child. Okay, but I didn't show you the descendant and precedings and then ancestors. Just to for you to practice purpose, I am leaving those things. But if you have any questions or any doubts, maybe we'll catch you for tomorrow and then sit together and then resolve the issues. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So but make sure that like you need to be practice on daily concepts. Okay, but don't
Okay.
give up for things. Make sure to close out on daily activities, it will be easy for you to learn.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
That's all from for today. We'll catch up for tomorrow and then we'll see you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what are atomic values? You told atomic values, so
Atomic
I got
values
it.
are simple. In the example, what is sign in text is there, right? We call it as atomic value. The text we call it as here. Sign in is there, right?
Okay.
This is the atomic value. Account is atomic value.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
That part we call it as.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, Ravan. Then catch you tomorrow.
Thanks. Thanks, man.
Hmm, no problem. Anytime. Anything you can just ping me.
Yeah. Sure. Sure.
Chalo. Catch you.